Start is an early years charity. We run nurseries at the moment, 6, soon to be 12, in and around London at the moment, trying to make sure that we close the achievement gap that opens up before primary school, and that children all start primary school ready to thrive and succeed. So we opened our first nursery in October 2020, our second one in March 2021, which, as you can imagine, is quite an unorthodox time in the middle of lockdowns to open a nursery. We started with, I think, kind of 5 or 6 members of staff, and we came to the Cranfield Trust and to David to talk about how we could support the kind of creation of a really positive culture amongst our staff, and as we grew, so we've grown now to 6, soon to be 7 nurseries, and trying to really make sure that we can kind of build out that culture that reflects the values and aims of our organisation.
And they were kind of looking for a way to tie in the work that they'd done already on cultural and behavioural values, and trying to make this part of their day-to-day operational life in terms of how were they going to use those behaviours and you know, reinforce that kind of wanted culture day to day.
Working with David has been this kind of very sort of organic but supportive process that we sort of started, I think, slightly I started definitely thinking, oh, I've got this very clear endpoint that I'm trying to achieve, and actually having been taken on this sort of guided path towards something that now makes much more sense to me and to the rest of our team than I think it did at the beginning. So it's been an incredibly kind of sort of constructive and developmental thing, not just for the organisation, but I think for all of the people who've been in that conversation, in that dynamic over time, and I've been incredibly appreciative.
It would be about some work around systems and processes, but I was very keen that wasn't the first priority. The first priority would be around helping. There was an American consultant I work with quite a lot, Peter Block, who said, if you want to change the culture, change the conversations. So a lot of my focus was about helping people get away from the day-to-day nuts and bolts, it's fallen off, it's broken conversations, to be able to start moving more to sort of future-focused and developmental conversations.
His credibility, his longevity, his experience as a very calm, you know, enthusiastic and curious, you know, kind of volunteer, those were all qualities that were very much welcomed by Katie.
I think now if you walked into our nurseries and asked any of the questions of staff who'd been in post for kind of 6 months, they give very similar answers to some of the stuff when we talk about, you know, why are we doing this? What are the important things? What can you expect from your manager? What can you expect from your teammates? You know, all of those sorts of things. And I think you can kind of take that for granted. That's not an easy thing to achieve. Well, I can say that, what I can say is that Ark Start children are doing exceptionally well, and I think that is, you know, the reason for that is because of the adults that are working with them, and the adults that are working with them are only able to do a good job if they're in an environment in which they can thrive. And the evidence for that is that over the last 5 years, 91% of the children who have attended an Ark Start nursery have gone on to achieve a good level of development at the end of reception. So we work in areas that are disproportionately disadvantaged. About 50%, 45% of our children are entitled to free school meals. The national average for the good level of development nationally is about 67%, or was in 2024. So our children are disproportionately above national average, notwithstanding that they're disproportionately disadvantaged. And so I think that speaks to the impact, you know, on the impact of the work. You know, that isn't possible if the adults aren't doing a really brilliant job on a very, very, you know, minute by minute, hour by hour, day by day way. You can't just magic up those sorts of outcomes.